Okay, so we're going to go over this lesson really quick so we can take our notes in our notebook. So our lesson for today is lesson 1.9, measure figures made from prisms. Okay, our learning objective is to be able to use volume formula, the volume formula, to find the total volume of a figure composed of rectangular prisms. So let's go over vocabulary really quick. Volume is a space occupied by a 3D object. Okay, so this will be kind of like you can say that's a 3D object. So the question is, how many cubic units fit into this? Okay, so that's space taken by 3D object. That's volume. Okay, and cubic units are the measurements that we use to describe volume, right? So this is a cubic unit. Okay, so if this is, for instance, I know this is not an inch, but if it was an inch, it would be a cubic inch, right? If it's a foot, it will be a cubic foot. Okay, and then rectangular prisms are basically boxes, right? So they have 6 faces. So like this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces, right? And the bases and the bases are rectangles. So this could be my bases. I can have it like this here, and this will be my base, and the bottom will be my base, and I can have this in here, right? So I can switch it around different ways. So it's basically like a shoebox. Okay, and we discover the volume, right? I can use this connecting cubes, which make it easier for me to count, but then when it gets bigger, it might be a little more difficult. So in this case, if I have this right here, I know that I can decompose it, right? And I can see layers. So in this case, I can count easily, and I have 2, 4, 6, 8, and then I have another layer of that. So if I put them together, that would be 16 cubic units, right? But the formula helps us to make it a little easier, right? If we know our multiplication tables. So in this case, my length is this, right? So in this case, I can say, okay, you know what? I have this that looks like that. And so in this case, what I can do is I can do my length, right? So that will be a 4. How wide is it is 2, and how tall is it is 2. So then I can take all my numbers together, and I can go 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 2 is 16. So the same answer, right? Cubic units. So that's my volume, 16 cubic units. Okay, so let's work with this formula here. Now this one is not a rectangular prism. It's actually composed of 2 rectangular prisms that are next to each other. One thing that we have to remember though is the volume cannot have gaps, right? Or overlapping. So we have to be careful with that. So in this case, there are different ways that we can do it, right? So I can decompose it, and I can see it as one rectangle right here and another one right here, right? And hopefully you see different ways that you can do it. We'll work with others in class and see if you guys can figure that out. Okay, so in this case, I'm gonna decompose it, and I'm gonna get 2 rectangles. So I can do my pink one right here, okay, which actually goes all the way to the back, and then I'm gonna do my blue one right here. So I'll have 2 of those. I'm going to write expressions. Remember, expressions are numerical, kind of like sentences or phrases that we use to figure out things, right? And they don't have the equal sign. So in this case, I can start with my pink one, and I'm going to say, oh my goodness, how am I going to get this? Okay, so how long is it right here? Well, this one matches this one, so that's going to be a 2, right? And then how wide is it? Well, this is going to match this, so that's a 1. And then how tall is it is 6. So 2 times 1 is 2 times 6. That will be 12. And because they're feet, we're going to say cubic feet. Okay. And then with my blue one, I have this one right here, that rectangular prism. And so how long is it? Matches that one. So that's a 3. And then how wide is it is 1. And then how tall is it is 2. So in this case, I can do that. And I will get 6 and then cubic feet, but I have to add them together because I have this plus that. I have to combine them together, right? So this plus this, right? So if I were to write an expression, I would have to write something like that, right? And so 12 plus 6 is 18. So the total volume for this composed figure, 3D figure, is 18 cubic feet. Okay, so that's my answer for that one right there. Now let's see if we can figure out another way to solve for that. Okay, so just kind of to show you with the connected cubes how this is. This is a 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so sorry, I don't have another one of this, but I'm going to use this one. So in this case, this is 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 2. And then right here we have the 3, and then we have the 2, and then we have just one layer, right? So the first one we did is we decomposed it like this, right? So I had this one plus this rectangular prism, right? Now, the other way that I can do it, okay, think about it. What about doing it this way, right? So now I have these 2 rectangles. Okay, these are 2 rectangular prisms. So let's work with this now. I can cut here, and I will have this purple one on top, right? then I will have the pink one on the bottom. So let's work with that one, okay? So let's start with the purple, okay? So length times width, which is right here, right? Times height. Oh my goodness, how am I gonna do that? It doesn't tell me right here. Okay, well, you can kind of figure out, right? Because this whole thing is 6, right? But this is 2, okay? So if I were to do that, so in that case, what I'm going to do is, this is 2. How much more do I need to get to 6? 4, right? So that means that this right here is 4. So I can figure that out. So that will give me 8 cubic feet. Okay, now let's work with the pink one. Okay, oh my goodness, I do not know the length for this one. Just you can figure it out. How? Well, I know that from here to here is 2, right? And then from here to here is 3. So what's 2 plus 3? That gives me 5. So then that means that from here to here, that is 5 feet. And then how wide is it? 1, right? How tall is it? 2. So that will give me 5 times 2 is 10. And then remember, I'm going to put them together. So I'm going to add this one plus this one was 8 plus 10, that's 18 cubic feet. Same answer than right here, right? So there are different ways to do. There's another one, but I'm not going to show you that one because I do not want to confuse you. Okay, so let me quickly show you what you're going to be doing on your note paper. Okay, so eventually you're going to get your notebook, right, that has this note paper sheet, and you're going to write the lesson. So right here I'm going to copy this down. 1.9 measure figures made from prisms, right? What's my learning objective over here? And then right here is where I'm going to take all these notes. So I'm going to do my vocabulary, and I'm going to take my notes and do some examples. So let me do that so you can see it, and then we'll be back. So right here you see how I did the notes. So that's basically what I'm asking you guys to do. To slowly write as you watch the video, or you can watch the video and then copy. I prefer that you copy as you watch the video so you can slow down and see what you don't understand and ask questions during class. Okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.